The summons captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the HSS Aurora, watching the stars streak past through the viewport as they traveled through hyperspace toward their destination. The Aurora was humanity's most advanced diplomatic vessel, designed specifically for important missions to alien worlds. Elena had commanded the ship for 5 years, but she had never received a message quite like the one that brought them on this journey. The emergency transmission had arrived 3 weeks ago through the quantum communication network that connected all major civilizations across the galaxy. The message came directly from the Galactic Space Council headquarters on Centauri Prime, the massive artificial planet that served as the seat of government for 15 different alien species. Alana remembered the chill that ran down her spine when she first read the formal language of the diplomatic summons. Lieutenant Commander David Park approached Elena with a concerned expression on his face. David had been serving as her communications officer for the past 2 years, and she trusted his judgment completely. He handed her a datapad containing the latest intelligence reports from Earth Command, and Elena could see the worry in his eyes as she began reading the classified information. Reports painted a disturbing picture of events that had been unfolding across human space over the past 8 months. Alien patrol ships from various council species had been disappearing without any trace near the borders of human territory. The missing vessels ranged from small scout ships to heavy cruisers, and their disappearances had created growing tension between humanity and the galactic community. Elena scrolled through the technical data that accompanied the intelligence reports. Sensors throughout the region had detected strange energy signatures that did not match any known technology in the galactic database. The energy readings appeared and vanished without warning, leaving no trace of their origin or purpose. Several alien governments had accused humanity of developing illegal weapons technology in violation of multiple interstellar treaties. Dr. Maria Santos joined Elena and David on the bridge as they discussed the implications of the intelligence reports. Maria was Earth's leading expert on alien technology and had been selected to accompany the diplomatic mission because of her extensive knowledge of galactic politics. She had spent 15 years studying at universities on different alien worlds, making her one of the few humans who truly understood how the Council operated. Maria explained that the Galactic Space Council consisted of 15 different species, each representing thousands of worlds and billions of citizens. Humanity had been granted associate membership in the Council only 12 years ago, and they were still considered a minor species by galactic standards. The fact that the Council was demanding answers from humanity about the missing ships indicated that the situation had become extremely serious. The journey to Centauri Prime took 3 weeks through the established hyperspace corridors that connected the major civilizations of the galaxy. During the trip, Elena received regular updates from Admiral Rebecca Torres at Earthfleet Command. Admiral Torres had been coordinating humanity's response to the growing crisis, but she was limited in what she could share over potentially monitored communication channels. Elena spent hours reviewing diplomatic protocols and studying the psychological profiles of the alien ambassadors they would be facing at the Council hearing. Each of the 15 species had different cultural values and communication styles, making it crucial for the human delegation to understand how to present their case effectively. The stakes could not be higher, as a wrong word or suspicious response could result in economic sanctions or even military action against Earth. As the Aurora approached Centauri Prime, Elena was amazed by the sheer scale of the artificial world. The planet was entirely constructed from advanced materials that humanity was only beginning to understand. Massive cities stretched across entire continents, connected by transportation systems that operated using principles of physics that human scientists had not yet mastered. Space elevators reached far into orbit, supporting orbital platforms where millions of ships from dozens of different species conducted trade and diplomatic business. The council chambers were located at the center of Centauri Prime's main continent, housed within an enormous crystalline structure that rose 20 kilometers into the sky. The building was constructed from a translucent material that seemed to shift colors based on the angle of observation, creating a constantly changing display of lights and patterns. Elena piloted the Aurora through the designated approach corridor while Maria and Dr. Santos prepared for what would certainly be the most important diplomatic meeting in human history. The human delegation was escorted into the council chambers by tall, graceful beings that Elena recognized as Centauri, one of the founding species of the galactic government. The chamber itself was massive, with seating areas for hundreds of representatives from the 15 member species. At the center of the room stood a circular platform where those being questioned were expected to present their case to the assembled alien dignitaries. Elena stepped onto the platform with Dr. Santos and Maria beside her, while the rest of the Aurora's crew remained in the observation area designated for visitors. The 15 species were represented by their most senior ambassadors, each one regarding the humans with expressions that ranged from mild curiosity to open hostility. The atmosphere in the chamber felt heavy with tension and suspicion. The Varethian ambassador spoke first, his voice amplified throughout the chamber by advanced translation systems that converted his words into every language spoken by the council members. The accusations came quickly and directly. Alien patrol fleets had been vanishing without trace near human space for the past 8 months. Energy signatures, unlike anything in the galactic database, had been detected in the same regions where ships disappeared. The ambassador continued his accusations, stating that the council suspected humanity was developing illegal weapons technology that violated several interstellar treaties governing the use of experimental physics in military applications. The aliens demanded immediate access to all human military installations and research facilities, along with complete technical specifications for every weapon system that Earth had developed since joining the galactic community. Elena responded calmly to each accusation, maintaining her diplomatic composure despite the hostile atmosphere in the chamber. She stated that humanity had nothing to hide and would cooperate fully with any reasonable investigation conducted by neutral council observers. She emphasized that Earth's military technology was primitive compared to what the council species possessed, making it impossible for humans to threaten advanced alien warships equipped with shields and weapons that far exceeded human capabilities. Dr. Santos supported Alana's statements with technical data about human weapon systems, carefully avoiding any mention of classified research projects that might exist beyond the knowledge of most government officials. The data showed that humanity's most advanced weapons were based on conventional physics principles that had been well understood by galactic civilizations for thousands of years. The Corvani representatives stepped forward and declared that humans were disrupting subspace with crude experiments that threatened navigation throughout the entire sector. The crystalline Nexari ambassador added that the energy signatures detected near human space were consistent with forbidden research into dimensional manipulation, technology that had been banned by galactic treaty for over 2,000 years. Accusations grew more serious as each species added their complaints and demands to the growing list of charges against humanity. The Theronian military advisor presented sensor data that allegedly showed human ships in the vicinity of several disappearances, though the evidence was inconclusive and could have been interpreted in multiple ways. Elena maintained her diplomatic stance throughout the lengthy questioning session, but she exchanged meaningful glances with Maria and Dr. Santos several times during the proceedings. The 3 women had been briefed on certain classified information before leaving Earth, and they knew that the truth about the missing alien ships was far more complex than the Yanas council suspected. As the hearing continued into its second day, Elena began to realize that no amount of diplomatic language or technical explanations would satisfy the Council's demands. The alien representatives had already made up their minds about humanity's guilt, and they were simply going through the motions of a formal hearing before imposing whatever punishment they had decided upon. On the final day of the hearing, the Council delivered their ultimatum. Humanity had exactly 30 days to provide complete and unrestricted access to all military installations, research facilities, and classified projects anywhere in human space. Council inspection teams would be granted unlimited authority to examine any technology, interview any personnel, and access any information they deemed relevant to their investigation. If humanity refused to comply with these demands, or attempted to hide any aspect of their military capabilities, the Council would impose immediate economic sanctions that would cut off all trade between Earth and the galactic community. If the sanctions failed to produce compliance, the 15 Council species would authorize military enforcement action against human colonies and installations. Elena accepted a formal copy of the Council's demands and assured the assembled ambassadors that Earth would give their ultimatum serious consideration. She requested permission to return to human space immediately so that the demands could be presented to Earth's government for official response. The Council agreed to allow the Aurora to depart, but they made it clear that the 30-day deadline would begin counting from the moment the human delegation left Centauri Prime Dot as the Aurora departed from the artificial world and entered hyperspace for the journey back to Earth. Elena finally allowed herself to show the stress she had been feeling throughout the Council hearing. She knew that humanity was facing the greatest crisis in its history, and she also knew that the solution to that crisis lay in secrets that went far beyond anything the Council could imagine. Asterisk. The Revelation Admiral Marcus Chun stood in the secure briefing room deep beneath the Colorado mountains, reviewing classified reports that only a dozen people in the entire solar system were authorized to access. The facility was known officially as Strategic Command Center Alpha, but everyone with the necessary security clearance simply called it the Vault. Admiral Chun had been waiting for this moment for over 20 years, ever since he first learned about the project that would eventually change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. The Admiral activated the room's highest security protocols and established encrypted communication links with key personnel scattered across the solar system and beyond. Within minutes, the holographic displays around the room showed the faces of Earth's most classified military leaders, each one appearing from locations that officially did not exist on any government documents. General Patricia Williams appeared on screen from her command post in the asteroid belt, where she oversaw humanity's most secret research and development programs. Dr. James Mitchell connected from a facility hidden in the outer system, where he had spent the past 15 years, developing technology that operated according to principles of physics that most human scientists did not yet understand. Captain Sarah Kim joined the conference from the bridge of a warship that had never appeared on any official fleet registry. Admiral Chun began the briefing by reviewing the intelligence reports from Captain Vasquez's mission to Centauri Prime. The Galactic Space Council's ultimatum had been transmitted to Earth through secure channels, and every word of the alien demands had been analyzed by teams of experts in diplomatic relations, military strategy, and XENO psychology. The analysis concluded that the Council had no intention of accepting any explanation that humanity might provide about the missing alien ships. The 15 species had already decided that Earth posed a potential threat to galactic stability, and they were using the disappearances as justification for actions they had been planning for months. Intelligence networks throughout the galaxy had detected massive fleet movements from 8 different Council species, all converging on staging areas just outside human territory. General Williams provided an update on Project Dark Horizon, the classified program that had been developing humanity's most advanced military technology for the past 25 years. The project had its origins in the discovery of wreckage from an ancient battlefield in the outer reaches of the solar system. Mining crews expanding operations into the Kuiper Belt had found fragments of technology that appeared to be millions of years old, but which incorporated principles of physics that human science could barely comprehend. The alien wreckage contained materials that could manipulate what Earth scientists eventually learned was dark matter, the mysterious substance that made up most of the universe's mass, but which interacted very weakly with ordinary matter. Analysis of the fragments revealed that the original builders had developed weapons and defensive systems that could exist simultaneously in normal space and in parallel dimensions accessible only through dark matter manipulation. Dr. Mitchell took over the briefing to explain the breakthrough discoveries that had made Project Dark Horizon possible. Human scientists had spent decades reverse engineering the principles behind the alien technology, slowly building their understanding of how to manipulate the fundamental structure of reality itself. The key insight had come when Mitchell's team realized that dark matter could be used to create weapons and spacecraft that were essentially invisible to any detection, method used by contemporary galactic civilizations. The technology allowed specially designed ships to phase between normal spacetime and dark matter dimensions, creating vessels that could appear anywhere without warning and disappear just as quickly. Dark matter weapons could strike targets from parallel dimensions, bypassing all known defensive technologies by materializing inside enemy ships rather than trying to penetrate their shields and armor from the outside. Captain Sarah Kim provided a detailed report on the operational capabilities of humanity's secret fleet. The Dark Horizon project had produced 68 fully operational warships, hidden throughout the solar system and in concealed bases beyond the edge of explored space. Each ship was staffed by carefully selected crews who had undergone years of training to operate in multiple dimensions. Simultaneously, the vessels were designated as the Ghost Fleet because they remained completely undetectable to alien sensor systems even when operating at full combat power. The ships could appear inside enemy formations, destroy multiple targets, and vanish back into dark matter space before their opponents realized what had happened. The dark matter torpedoes used by the Ghost Fleet would phase through shields and armor before materializing inside enemy vessels, causing catastrophic internal explosions that no conventional defense could prevent. Captain Kim described the latest field tests that had been conducted in the outer system, where Ghost Fleet vessels had been practicing combat maneuvers and weapons deployment for the past 6 months. The tests had been designed to simulate battles against vastly superior enemy forces, and the results had exceeded even the most optimistic projections. A single Ghost Fleet destroyer could engage and defeat an entire squadron of conventional warships without suffering any damage in return. Commander Lisa Rodriguez, head of Human Intelligence Operations, provided disturbing news about alien activities throughout the galaxy. Surveillance networks had detected the largest military buildup in galactic history, with over 400 warships from multiple Council species assembling in secret staging areas. The aliens were clearly preparing for a massive assault on human space, confident that their superior numbers and advanced technology would allow them to crush Earth's resistance in a matter of days. The intelligence reports indicated that the Council intended to occupy every human colony and install military governors who would ensure complete compliance with galactic law. Earth itself would be placed under direct Council administration, with human government leaders replaced by alien officials who would supervise the integration of humanity into the existing galactic power structure. Admiral Chun made the decision that would change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. He authorized the full activation of Ghost Fleet protocols and placed all dark matter operations under unified command structure. The secret that humanity had kept for 25 years was about to be revealed in the most dramatic way possible, as the aliens expected to find a primitive civilization with outdated weapons and desperate defenses. Captain Kim received authorization to deploy the first wave of Ghost Fleet vessels to intercept positions throughout human space. The ships would remain in dark matter dimensions until the alien invasion force crossed into human territory, at which point they would emerge simultaneously across multiple star systems to demonstrate capabilities that the Council had never imagined possible. The Ghost Fleet's first combat operation began when long-range sensors detected the alien invasion force entering human space through 3 different hyperspace corridors. Over 400 warships from 8 Council species advanced toward Earth and the major human colonies, confident that their overwhelming superiority would make resistance futile. The alien fleet commanders had studied human military capabilities for months, analyzing every ship design and weapon system that Earth had ever produced. Their battle plans called for a swift, decisive campaign that would capture key strategic positions before human forces could organize effective resistance. The Council species had fought dozens of similar campaigns against primitive civilizations, and they expected this operation to follow the same predictable pattern. Admiral Thane Korvac of the Varithian Empire commanded the central assault force of 150 warships advancing toward Earth through the Sol System's primary hyperspace entry point. Admiral Korvac had participated in 12 successful campaigns against technologically inferior species, and he viewed the human operation as routine military action that would be completed within 72 hours. Asterisk. The Varithian admiral was reviewing final attack preparations when his sensor operators reported massive energy signatures appearing throughout the system. The readings showed over 30 unknown contacts materializing from apparently empty space, surrounding the alien fleet in a perfect tactical formation. Admiral Korvac demanded immediate identification of the unknown vessels, but his sensors could provide no useful information about their origin or capabilities. Captain Kim's flagship, the DSS Phantom, materialized directly in front of the Varithian command ship at a distance of less than 5 kilometers. The Ghost Fleet had emerged from dark matter space with perfect precision, catching the alien invasion force completely by surprise. Similar scenarios were playing out simultaneously in the other star systems, where Council forces had expected to achieve easy victories against human defenders. The Phantom opened fire with dark matter torpedoes that phased through the Varithian flagship's shields as if they did not exist. The weapons materialized inside the alien vessel's hull and detonated with devastating effect, destroying critical systems throughout the ship. Admiral Korvac watched in horror as his most advanced warship was torn apart from the inside by weapons that his sensors could not even detect until the moment of impact. Throughout human space, the story was the same as Ghost Fleet vessels engaged. Alien forces that had no defense against weapons operating from parallel dimensions. The Council species discovered that their technological superiority meant nothing against an enemy that could strike from realities they did not know existed. Ships that had taken decades to build and represented the pinnacle of galactic military engineering were destroyed in minutes by human forces that seemed to appear from nowhere. The Battle of Sol lasted less than 6 hours, but it fundamentally changed the balance of power in the galaxy. The alien invasion force was completely destroyed, with no survivors to report back to the Council about what they had encountered. Similar results occurred in every system where Council forces had attempted to establish control over human territory. News of the defeats spread quickly through alien communication networks, causing panic among the Council species who had never imagined that humanity possessed such capabilities. The 15 ambassadors who had delivered their ultimatum to Captain Vasquez now found themselves facing a completely transformed strategic situation where Earth held the advantage in any potential conflict. Captain Vasquez received new orders to return to Centauri Prime, But this time she would not be appearing as a representative of a minor species pleading for mercy. Instead, she would be speaking for a civilization that had just demonstrated the ability to defeat the combined military forces of multiple galactic empires. The Council would be forced to negotiate from a position of weakness, wondering what other surprises humanity might have prepared for them. The age of human expansion into the galaxy was about to begin, and the species that had dismissed Earth as primitive would soon learn that they had gravely underestimated the descendants of a world that had produced warriors, explorers, and visionaries capable of reshaping reality itself.